Welcome back, my Poocherinos, to a very special thrift video, which, like the items in the shops, has been very appropriately gathering dust and aging for the last year or so. But since the quarantine is coming to an end and restrictions are finally being lifted, now feels like an appropriate time to revisit that thrift lifestyle, which often has us in very unhygienic situations. Oh god, how I missed that. And what better way to reinvigorate that need for thrift than by visiting every thrift shop in the SoCal area. And that's exactly what we're setting off to do in this video. Find the best thrift in SoCal. And by SoCal, I really do just mean that general 50-mile radius. Yeah, sorry. But now, getting started, there was a lot of preparation, mainly in the form of me looking at the map and planning where to go. But there's no sense in spoiling the route, cause it is a good one, trust me. So let's go ahead and start right off with the first thrift of the day, which happened very close to home at a Goodwill. Now, this was unsurprisingly the store that set my thrifting mind ablaze and sparked the video idea. There I found what I think is an outdoors cooking pan. I haven't actually had the guts to cook anything on it, so for now it's also just gathering dust in my garage. Then I got this vintage thermos, which I very thoroughly cleaned. It's vintage, so you know it's good. And last off was this All Dogs Go to Heaven lunchbox, which was half stuff from another movie and half dog treat maker. I don't really have a dog to make treats for, but something tells me 20-year-old ingredients are better off in this box. Now, our thrift adventure actually started off in Cyprus the very next day, where I didn't go thrifting, but instead I went to a swap meet. But I had a good reason, because the Cyprus swap meet is actually right next to a Goodwill. So I took the opportunity and didn't get anything from the Goodwill, but I did manage to find some pretty cool things from the swap meet. First off is this fine looking holster. A little worn at places, but I managed to haggle the price down to a low $25, which was quickly negated by everything else, because I totally got screwed. A lighter that doesn't stay on, a tripod that's already broken, and a light up selfie stick that wants to throw a frickin' rager.
That work? Is it the battery thing?
And not to mention this thing, which in my excitement, I didn't try to haggle the price whatsoever and spent a whopping $40 on. It's an old military radio that doesn't work. But it has a nice strap and a lever that spins. So there is that. I mean, what else could you want, right? Hello?
Yeah, just fucking kill yourself, please.
And the last swap meet lesson learned came in the form of this Polaroid camera. While the ones made by Polaroid are still quite expensive, the Color Blast 50 ain't worth shit. Like seriously, I haven't seen one go past $5 on eBay. But nevertheless, it's time to leave all this bad juju behind us as we approach our next thrift shop, another Goodwill. Can you start to see the pattern? And to further downgrade the quality of the video, I got pretty tired of the fast grab bit, so we're back to the basic wide while I point at the items. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe for more quality content like this. But here's hoping that the next few items make up for the lack of quality and refinement. And first off, we have a brand new portable liquor case with a missing handle that I got for a low $5. Now, despite the handle, this would be great to take camping. And speaking of which, I happen to find a hefty camping backpack right at that Goodwill. The bag was twice as expensive as the liquor case, but has already started to pay off as I've actually taken it camping, or at least an attempt at one, which ended up more like a 6-mile hike to a close camping ground and a 6-mile hike back. Regardless, I also got this great Craftsman Toolbox, which is a little rusty and bent. But that's okay, because that's nothing a little vinegar and some fine sanding won't cure. But I also kinda dig the rustic style, that and I'm lazy, so for now, it'll stay rustic. And next up, a product of a bygone leather-obsessed era, we have a relatively new black leather briefcase. I plan on keeping my weed here, so it was definitely worth the $10 I paid. From there, I made my way further into Long Beach, where I stopped at the Precious Life thrift store, which was a little too hipster and a little too expensive to be considered a real thrift. So I bailed and did the routine Goodwill stop, where I found nothing aside from a boba shop next door. It was refreshing and definitely worth it. I proceeded to make our way to our next stop, which was an extremely small shop with a surprising selection, where I ended up picking up 2 gas cans, 1 vintage and 1 plastic, for the very low price of $14.99. The young lady there was nice enough to give them both to me for the price of 1, so that definitely fueled my thrifting spirit. And in retrospect, was a good omen of things to come, because oh boy did the thrift gods bless me. I continued to make my way down until I stumbled onto Quality Thrift, this run-down but sizable thrift shop with an ironically unironic name. And being a man on a mission, I had to stop at a red light, looking in the mirror, not a jacker in sight. And to my surprise, and without even realizing it, I had done it. I had found the best thrift shop in SoCal. Now, this store had everything. They had a huge collection of vintage clothing and jackets, which I immediately fell for, not to mention the 50% off deals, which were to die for. So, in my first visit, yeah, there is going to be more than one, I ended up buying 3 jackets. 1 60s, 1 90s, and 1 genuine cowboy, which I hate to admit was a bit expensive, but real fur and leather usually runs that way, so what else could I do but splurge? And I guess I'll admit that this jacket was totally what sparked my cowboy phase, which I'd like to say it's over, but my second visit to Quality Thrift was on the last day of that 50% off sale, and boy did I take advantage of it. I went a little thrift crazy and ended up buying over $100 worth of vintage clothing, which we are going to have a look at after we finish our original thrift day, which was starting to wind down as I was pretty satisfied with my finds up until then. That, and also because this last part gets kinda hazy, but not before yet another visit to Goodwill where I was able to cop 2 seemingly new camping bags. They were $10 a pop, which is great considering the initial retail was for $30. That's a deal I just couldn't sleep on. But to counteract that sweet deal, I decided to waste 30 whole bucks on an ultra tall tripod, which I've yet to use. In fact, I don't even know where it is right now. I moved, so it's kinda lost. From there, the next few stops were nothing shops, either lacking items, approachability, affordability, or a combination of all 3. I also came to the realization that I had driven too far north into bougie country, meaning there was really nothing of interest for me there. Well, that's a lie. I did find some affordable chicken wings in this boutique-style Goodwill. I was very tempted, but ultimately passed. After that special encounter, I decided to head back down towards Long Beach in search of thriftier pastures. There, I managed to find yet another Goodwill. Yeah, can you tell who holds the thrift monopoly? 'Cause I can. But anyways, I found a pretty nifty racing jacket. I got it because of the racing stripes. It was originally $24, but they had a blue tag special, so I got it for half off, which obviously made me quite happy and satisfied. Now, having spent all day roaming around and picking up thrifts really took its toll, so there really wasn't much more this dumb dog could handle. Despite that, I took my ass to one last store on the outskirts of Long Beach called Treasure Hunt Thrifts. I can't talk, which was a total fluke. They pretty much cater to high-income middle-aged white guys with a deep fascination of the Orient, so aside from the name, there wasn't much of a thrift there. With that, we can finally make our way back home, completing this thrifty Grand Prix once and for all. And of course, we can finally confirm what we were all waiting for, what the best thrift in SoCal was. And, drumroll please, the very obvious Quality Thrift, which we are now going to be looking at the rest of the items which I got from the 50% off sale. But we can't just dive in, we're going to have to organize a little bit, so I made sure to separate things by jackets, shirts, and just other little categories like that. And now we're officially ready to see everything else. So first off is this jacket. It's a bomber kind of leather jacket. It's soft leather, suede, I think that's what it's called. I've worn it quite a lot, to the point that I've gotten over it. Now this one is very similar to the previous one. It's a lot more newer in style. I don't like it, personally. I tried to give it away as a birthday gift, and then the person gave it back. But it was pretty pricey. Now remember, I did get everything half off, so that was $15, so not too bad. Now over here we have some ski jackets. I was in a ski jacket phase, I won't lie. So I actually have 3 of these ski jackets. They were all about the same price, $15 a pop, originally $30 a pop. But I'm a sucker for the color block jackets, I don't know why. Same here. Now this one's my watermelon bomber, mainly because of the color and the super bright red insides, obviously. A little tacky at times, still like it. And the second ski jacket, as you can tell, it's pretty much the same thing as the other one.
That looks like the other one. Well, you're absolutely right. It does, except it's not purple. I like the purple. Purple's nice.
That fucking loser. Alright, and next up, oh yeah, I remember this one. It's like a fisherman's jacket. See, yeah, definitely fisherman's jacket by the fact that I'm doing that stupid shit. But it smelled like the ocean, but like rancid ocean. It was probably soaking wet when it arrived there, so it had a horrid smell. I think I washed it about 3 times before I was able to get it all out. And now it's again, just sitting in my closet. I haven't really worn this one, haven't really had much need to. Next up we have a vest, which I was thinking would go nicely with my cowboy setup and stuff. I haven't used it, but still, it was extremely cheap, $191, and half of that as well. So yeah, a total steal. I also got another vest, a different color though. Obviously very tacky.
No.
But very cheap, so I couldn't pass it up. That was my problem with everything. Everything was so cheap, I just didn't want to pass it up, even though I probably won't be wearing a lot of these stuff. But that might be a lie too, because I've worn a lot of these things, except those ties. Wait, that's a lie too. I actually wore that tie for a little cowboy cosplay thing I did. So yeah, a lot of these things came in handy, as I am beginning to realize. Next up, shirt-wise, we have some nice little collar shirts, Hawaiian style. I've worn this quite a few times. It's already ripped from the back, but it was only $3. Actually $150, taking the discount. So that was pretty good. And next up, we have this raccoon hat. I'm pretty sure the tail is an actual raccoon tail, but the top fur is just fox fur. Fake? I can't pronounce fox. Fox fur. Fox. Fakes fox fur. Anyways, staying on the furry side of things, we have an expensive fur coat. Genuinely expensive. Luckily, I got it for $12, so I couldn't pass it up, despite the fact that it's a girl's extra large. I don't know if you can tell, but yeah, it's kind of big on me. And sticking to that oversized trend, we have another extra large jacket, this one from Italy, so I again couldn't pass it up. Now, despite the size, this one doesn't look too shabby, so once the cold weather hits, I might be wearing it. Okay, now in the pants category, I actually haven't worn any of these, mainly because I've gotten quite fat in these last few months, so they barely fit me now. On top of the fact that they are kind of dress pants, and I haven't really had a need to wear those. This one especially, when I got it, it was already too small. It's like a extra small size men's. Now in our second to last category, we have our raincoats and our long jackets. Now, I was hoping they'd make me look like a Blade Runner, but they kind of just make me look like a loser. Despite that, I still enjoy the look, and I'm here waiting for rainy season to be able to finally wear this thing. Not to mention, it was only, what, $8? So that was a steal. Next up, we have yet another import. This one coming all the way from France, and I'm not gonna lie, it gave me mad Last Samurai vibes, and with anything that reminds me of something I like, I just had to get it. So that's exactly what I did. And thankfully, it wasn't too pricey.
That's only $5.
The most I paid for any of these jackets was $12, which again, not too shabby. Now the last of the long coats was the most expensive by far, but for good reason. It was the fur-lined one, and it's London Fog, which from personal experience, they make really quality jackets and other outwear like that. So it's not too surprising I paid $12 for it. Now we made it to our last category, and our last 2 items, which I genuinely really didn't have a need for them, but how can you pass a bright yellow rain pants? I never thought I was actually going to use these, but they've come in handy quite a few times now, keeping my legs all warm and nice. Same with these green ones, which I specifically designed. Same with these green ones, which I specifically designated for gardening. I'm a little dumb sometimes, sorry. But yeah, on the rare occasion that I feel like cleaning up my little garden, I wear these around. So it just goes to show how even the most seemingly useless things can end up coming in clutch when you least expect it. And I guess that is the whole point of the video, trying to showcase just how many useful, cool, and utterly unique things you can find secondhand. And as a maker and utter geek, there really is no place I'd rather be. And with that, our day of thrifting is officially done, and our loot has all been accounted for. So the last thing to do is call it a day.
Alright, thank you guys so much for watching, especially if you made it this far. I appreciate you. You might be wondering, wow, what the fuck's with the getup, Alex? I'm obviously trying to show off the wonders of the thrift. That, and I also want to show off my cosplay. But it was a horrible idea, because I'm fucking dying right now. It's going through that heat wave in California, all over the world, really. So, yeah, horrible idea. But, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate you. Make sure you leave a like if you had a good time. And if you didn't, go ahead and leave a like either way. Show me what's what. Make sure you guys stay hydrated. And with that, I'll catch you on the next one.
Until that sweet, sweet baby of mine took a powder on me. But I'll stay for a while, replenish my